Nerdy Sports Fan with your pregame breakdown for the Cowboys versus the Falcons. Now, this is an interesting one. The Cowboys were doing absolutely terrible on the road all season, and then all of a sudden they come into Philly and punch them in the mouth. Nobody was expecting that, really, especially with the strength of their team, the offensive line, dealing with some injuries. Now, a lot of that, it's hard to read injury reports these days. There's no probable or likely designation anymore. It's, if you walk into the trainer's room, you're questionable. So keep an eye on that at the beginning. I would expect the offensive line to still be very, very strong, and Ezekiel Elliott to do extremely well in this game. The defense for Atlanta has not been the greatest. They picked up Bruce Irvin a couple of weeks back, and now that he's been in the system for a couple of weeks again, he'll probably be going full speed now in this defense. Now, Quinn was the defensive coordinator back in Seattle before he picked up this head coaching gig, so the defense is not going to be too far different from things that Irvin has run before. So, yeah, he'll be full speed in this game, and that'll have certain amount of effect. Atlanta's up and down. It's a very schizophrenic kind of team. 1 week they look like they can beat anybody in the league. The next week they're losing to the Browns. Oh yeah, that was last week. This is really the crux of what I see this game playing out as. Atlanta's coming off of a big letdown. Cowboys are coming off of a game where they punched a division rival in the mouth. This is very much a trap game sort of situation for the Cowboys. They were riding high last week. They're coming into a game against a team that got kind of humiliated by a team that just went through a coaching change and really is still finding themselves. So I would expect Atlanta to be playing hungry. I would expect Dallas to not be able to match the energy that they had last week. So this is very much Atlanta's game, and I expect it to not be too close either. They're going to be winning by 7 to 10 points. Atlanta has a wide receiver group that rivals, is better than every other team in the league outside of maybe Pittsburgh. Now, that is going to be on show. Dallas' defense does not match up well with them. And you have Tevin Coleman, who receives out of the backfield extremely well. They're just not going to have answers in Dallas for them. So Atlanta's going to be able to easily score. Julio Jones is always a wide receiver one, just every week. He's a target monster, and nobody can keep up with him in one-on-one. He's double and triple covered all the time, and every time he isn't, Matt Ryan's looking for him. I mean, if you had a Julio Jones, you'd be thrown to him too. So, but then when you go further down the line, you have Sanu, you have Calvin Ridley, and nobody's third corner is good enough to deal with either one of those guys. So, yeah, they're just going to be able to manhandle whoever Dallas puts out there at the nickel spot. Now, for Dallas's offense, Prescott seems to be leveling out, and it's largely because Ezekiel Elliott is just phenomenal. He's carrying the team. He's the second leading rusher in the league, and he's one of the better receiving backs out of the backfield too. There's only a couple that are doing better than him in that category, so Dak is going to lean on that. I'm not quite sure what Cooper is for this offense yet. He's had some good showings, but he's only been on the team for a few weeks, and he was doing terrible in Oakland, so you don't really know what he is as a player this season for this team just yet. And I'd kind of expect him to go back into his shell for a game like this. So Prescott is not going to have the best opportunity to throw the ball throughout the game. They're going to be leaning on Ezekiel Elliott like every team in the league is assuming they're going to do. And that's going to make it easier on Atlanta's defense. So all those factors in, Obviously, Atlanta's winning. And Ezekiel Elliott's a go-to start every week, but avoid Dak Prescott this week. Most fantasy leagues shouldn't really have him as a starter, but if you were thinking about it, just don't. This is going to be an easy one for Atlanta, but probably the first half will be fun to watch.